Did you know that your money is changing? Imagine a world where you can only use your money by asking for permission. Every choice you make is monitored and logged into a digital record. And the freedom to spend your money on whatever you choose is gone.
Is this money mine or is it not?
So I'm the Bank of America and everybody's missing money.
I know people that have been banned from PayPal.
The financial system is being weaponized against individuals.
They try to scam us into digital slavery with the CBDCs.
You are living through one of the biggest changes human history has ever experienced. And money can be used in the future to enslave you. If you haven't heard about central bank digital currencies yet, don't worry, because this video will explain everything to you. I talked to different people around the world about this.
My name is Mark Friedrich.
My name is Ben. My name is Matt Odell.
And together we will look into what CBDCs are and why governments want to implement them around the world. But most importantly, we will discuss how this will influence your life.
People are going to get burned, people are going to get hurt, people's livelihoods are going to be put at risk.
Friday, they locked up my personal and business accounts.
They put us in danger, they scare us.
So this monetary slavery is already happening around the world. Different regimes are using it to get rid of their political oppositions. But this is happening. So in the end, I will show you how you can regain your financial freedom over your money again.
Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs.
So what exactly is this?
Central bank digital currencies could be a digital version of money.
And one of the main parts they are using for this is a technology called blockchain.
The new accounting is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having an almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy.
Basically, the central bank owns everything.
Unlike most of the digital money people use daily today, it would be issued directly by a central bank.
They have power over your wallet, over your money, and can even see the transactions. So whatever you buy, they know about it.
It's all part of the wider story of digital innovation.
To further understand this, let's compare it to cash.
Money, especially coins and bills, are printed freedom. So if you have money, you can do whatever you want.
This is the amazing thing about cash, because basically you can buy whatever you want and no one can stop you. You just give the money and get the good.
We don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today.
Yes, money is freedom.
For a large portion of America's existence, we had cash money, and most of our economy was based on cash money. That was inherently private. Today, the status quo is pretty much the exact opposite.
A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control, and also we will have the technology to enforce that.
Okay, wait, we need to stop here, because this is Augustin Carstens, and he's the general manager of the Bank of International Settlements. He's a very, very powerful man in the banking system. And he just says it out loud, like it's not even a secret. He says central bank digital currencies are about absolute control. And this is the scary part about this digital money.
Absolute control.
But before we look into how this absolute control might look like in the future, I want to understand why we need it. Like, what do the governments and politicians think that we need it for? The Federal Reserve states that CBDCs would be the safest digital asset available to the general public. The International Monetary Fund says that they offer more resilience, more safety, greater availability, and lower costs. And the World Economic Forum says that reducing financial crime is another motivator for CBDCs.
They always say the same thing, like it's against money laundering and only criminals use cash and so on.
So for me it was very questionable if those arguments are even valid.
I think that's lies. I think it's just fully lies.
Yeah, it's all actually a scam, it's a hoax.
They're designed to give central banks greater control over monetary policy, financial surveillance, and of course they will try and sell it to the public and continue to try and sell it to the public with frankly bullshit.
They put us in danger, they scare us, so they can say, hey, but we've got the solution, you know, and it's CBDCs, they're secure and they're fast, nobody can steal your wallet anymore, nobody can give you fake bills.
It's reducing the things that they don't want.
Full anonymity, such as offered by cash, does not appear a viable option, in my opinion.
and it's increasing their control.
Surveillance ultimately gives the surveiller control and power over who they are surveilling.
That is the danger, that our freedom with our money is under attack, actually.
And to understand all of those applications, we need to look into how absolute control of CBDCs will look like.
Looking into what having a digital currency might mean in practice.
So think about this, the central bank gives you $10, but you need to spend them today. I would immediately stop filming this video and go out and buy anything I can.
You get into crafting behaviors even more intricately.
And this gives them enormous power. This programmability is endless for them. So let's say that the banana part of the economy is struggling. They send me banana money. I can only buy bananas with this. Or they want to sanction another part of the economy. I won't be able to use my money anymore to buy apples, for example, because my money is restricted from buying apples. And now, remember we started the video and said that basically money is a tool to express your values and buy whatever you want with it, right? This stops here. Someone else decides what you can do with your money.
It's important to realize that we've never been in this situation before. We've never had so much of our lives digital, recorded forever, used against us. This is a new frontier, and it's a new frontier that has very scary possibilities.
Because if you combine this much power with political agendas, this can become very ugly.
Naturally, we are seeing a lot of these issues play out in countries that are ruled by authoritarians right now. They're using financial censorship every day. And a perfect example of that is in Putin's Russia. We saw the main opposition leader, Navalny, start to gain real ground and momentum against Putin.
These were the anti-corruption protests Mr. Navalny led.
The single first move that regime made to stifle his opposition was to go after his bank accounts and go after his financial access. And why is that? First of all, they could do it extremely easily. A couple clicks of the button, a couple phone calls, and all of a sudden, all your savings are seized. All your bank account access is seized. Your ability to move money anywhere is completely blocked and frozen. And to be completely cut out of the financial system, to be completely blocked from having donors be able to give you money for your campaign, is an absolute death knell for most political campaigns. And we're seeing dictators, including Putin, use it day after day to stop opposition.
What if there's a real issue with your government and you're trying to protest? So I'm in Canada, and we had a little taste of that this past calendar year.
After the Canadian government announced mandatory health mandates for truckers, a lot of people disagreed with it and wanted to protest. So over the next several weeks, a nationwide protest emerged all across the major cities of Canada. But the interesting thing about this is how the government reacted to it.
Our government decided to enact what's known as the Emergencies Act.
This is about keeping Canadians safe, protecting people's jobs, and restoring confidence in our institutions.
This was used one time in history. The instance in which it was used, there was an actual terrorist group bombing storefronts around Quebec, and they kidnapped and murdered a member of parliament.
It is the first assassination of a Canadian politician since the murder of Thomas D'Arcy McGee 102 years earlier. This law has never been invoked in peacetime. It suspends basic civil rights and liberties. It allows police searches and arrests without warrants, and prolonged detentions without charges and without the right to see a lawyer.
So that was the context in which it was used last. And so it was used again for this protest, in which there was no verified violence used against anybody. And this gave them the power to shut down the bank accounts of organizers, of people there on the ground, of really whoever they saw fit.
Your corporate accounts will be frozen.
Banks have already started to freeze the accounts of people involved in the protests.
On Friday, they locked up my personal and trucking business accounts, which means you can't work. Is that right? That's right. And then also we have another business, and they locked that account up too, and it had nothing to do with it.
Unbelievable. Wow.
And so people, for the first time, saw, oh, Is this money mine or is it not? Do I get to use my money as I see fit or not?
Our traditional financial system is already being weaponized against us. We see this on a daily basis. If our financial system continues down this route, if our communication systems continue down this route, if everything that we're putting on the internet is used against us to monetize, surveil, tracked, then that is extremely dark.
You might be thinking that you're living in a country where this can't happen.
A lot of people in America and Europe might not think that it could happen in their country.
The US wants to track all bank transactions which are over $600. China is banning 23 million people from buying travel tickets as part of a social credit system. Even in Europe, the Netherlands just released a law which forces banks to track and trace all transactions over 100 euros.
So these things do happen on a daily basis. They're happening all around us. They seem to be escalating, and essentially what we're seeing is we're seeing a weaponization of the traditional financial system used against people to either control them directly or control them indirectly. And with the rollout of CBDCs, it's only going to get worse from here.
CBDCs are the existing system on steroids.
As soon as we all are forced to use digital money from the Fed, from the ECB, there's no way back.
All of the control they currently have, everything they can currently do to clamp down and shut down free speech, freedom of movement, freedom of how you allocate your capital and the fruits of your labor, that will be cranked up.
You can't get it out of there. So it's always their surveillance, they can cancel you, they can ban you, they can freeze your money even.
So you have two options. You have CBDCs, where your freedom decays along with your purchasing power, or you have Bitcoin, where the opposite is true.
Navalny's team was cut off from the financial system. They didn't know what to do. And fortunately, they were able to discover Bitcoin, and they found out about the power of Bitcoin. And they were able to easily set up a Bitcoin wallet, a self-sovereign Bitcoin wallet that they and them only hold the keys for. And they were able to start receiving Bitcoin from donors all around the world. They use it as their primary way of funding their campaign, whether that's receiving donations from donors anywhere in the world, or once they receive those donations, actually being able to spend them to further their movement and further their campaign.
As these other funding mechanisms began to be frozen, more and more people started looking to Bitcoin because it was censorship resistant. You couldn't actually stop the payments from going through. Well over $1 million was raised over the span of like 2 weeks.
Hey man, how's it going? No, yeah, go ahead, you're good.
I'm gonna give this to you.
Oh, nice.
Remember how I gave you some sats? Yep. There's $8 grand of Bitcoin in there.
In here?
In there. As soon as the bank shut down, we had some big donors that were like, we need to get Bitcoin in these truckers. I'm not kidding you. So
that's ridiculous.
70% of the Bitcoin that was donated was handed directly to individual truckers on the ground in Ottawa.
I guarantee.
Open that shit up. Say so everybody.
In the form of a care package, which had, basically a wallet that was preloaded with around 8,000 Canadian dollars worth of Bitcoin per package.
There's just one solution, and the solution is called Bitcoin, because it is decentralized, is limited, is deflationary, and it's borderless, and you can't censor it. And there is no central bank or no owner, no Vitalik Buterin, who can decide how the code will be changed if they feel like it. So that's why Bitcoin is the only solution we have against the fiat scam and the other scams.
You can spend it, you can save it, nobody can stop you. There's no centralized party that is in control, that chooses who can and cannot use Bitcoin. There's no company in control, there's no government in control. It's a truly independent, free money that anyone can use how they want to use it. And for Navalny's team, this was extremely valuable.
If we think adversarially here, let's say the worst regulations came out. Bitcoin is just banned. You can't own a wallet. You can't own hardware to secure your Bitcoin. You can't do transactions. You can't do anything. It's all illegal. Does Bitcoin, the network, cease to function? Far from it. I just wanted to outline how resilient Bitcoin is. Even in the most draconian of situations, it still works.
Bitcoin to me represents hope. At the end of the day, you know, if we don't have these tools for freedom, if we don't have these tools that allow individuals to empower themselves, you know, humanity is lost. That is a very dark situation, and it's important for as many of us as possible to focus on the hope.
So after this video, I hope that you understand that this is something which can happen very, very soon. But there is a solution. And this is why all of us are so passionate about Bitcoin. Because it can really give you the freedom back, which all of the central banks are trying to take from your money. And my goal is to show you how to properly use Bitcoin and what use cases are there in the real world. But I need your help for this. Because I'm self-funding everything I do. I don't have any sponsors. I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. I'm working on a value for value model. So if you find my content value, I would highly appreciate any value back. You can send me sats. You can give me a comment down below what you liked or not, or even just subscribe to my channel. All of this helps me immensely. So learn about Bitcoin today, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye bye.